Welcome to MogulCast, where we uncover the stories behind the world's greatest business empires. Let's get into today's story.
On February 21st, 2025, a crypto exchange called Bybit announced it had been hacked. The loss was $1.5 billion. Not a typo. Not a rounding error. $1.5 billion gone in a single breach. The attackers were not anonymous cyber criminals in a basement. They were traced to North Korea. A nation-state robbed the world. This is the full story, and it is worse than you think. Bybit was founded in 2018 by a Singaporean entrepreneur named Zhou. Zhou built the platform as a centralized cryptocurrency exchange, meaning Bybit held custody of customer funds directly. In 2022, the company relocated its headquarters from Singapore to Dubai, chasing a friendlier regulatory environment. Bybit grew aggressively, sponsoring the Argentina national team and expanding into derivatives trading. We will come back to one specific decision about custody. It is the key to everything. Bybit's rapid rise came with turbulence. In November 2023, the FTX bankruptcy estate sued Bybit for nearly $1 billion. The suit alleged that Bybit's investment arm Marana had prioritized withdrawals from FTX in November 2022, pulling out nearly $500 million before withdrawals stopped. FTX claimed Bybit blocked it from reclaiming $125 million and devalued tokens worth tens of millions. In October 2024, Bybit settled for $228 million. The storm had passed, or so it seemed. Bybit emerged from the FTX settlement seemingly stronger. The exchange had survived a lawsuit tied to the most infamous collapse in crypto history and walked away intact. Customer trust held. Trading volumes continued. Bybit positioned itself as the exchange that had weathered every storm the industry could throw at it. Derivatives trading surged. Institutional clients signed on. By early 2025, Bybit was operating as one of the largest centralized exchanges in the world. But not everyone was celebrating. While Bybit expanded, a different kind of operation was watching. North Korea's Lazarus group, an advanced persistent threat unit tied to the North Korean state, had spent years developing expertise in cryptocurrency theft. Blockchain analytics firms had tracked Lazarus attacks across multiple exchanges. The group did not act like typical hackers. They operated with the resources, patience, and sophistication of a nation-state intelligence agency. They studied cold wallet infrastructure. They studied multi-signature systems. Then they picked a target. Bybit's competitive edge was scale and speed. As a centralized exchange, it held massive reserves of Ethereum and other assets in cold wallets designed to be secure. But here is what the media completely got wrong about this. The hack was not a failure of Bybit's internal security. The attacker exploited vulnerabilities in Bybit's multi-signature wallet system, but the breach was facilitated by compromised infrastructure at SafeWallet, a third-party provider. Bybit did not get hacked from the inside. Its supplier did. That distinction matters. Bybit had invested in its own security. It used multi-signature wallets requiring multiple approvals for any transfer. The system was designed so that no single person could move funds alone. But Lazarus did not attack the locks. They attacked the company that built the locks. SafeWallet provided the infrastructure for Bybit's cold wallet system. By compromising SafeWallet, the attackers could manipulate the signing process itself. The vault was secure. The vault manufacturer was not. On February 21st, 2025, the attack executed. Bybit announced on X that it had been hacked. Approximately 400,000 Ethereum had been stolen. The notional value was roughly $1.4 billion. Later reporting brought the total figure to $1.5 billion. It was the largest cryptocurrency theft ever recorded, not the largest hack of 2025, not the largest exchange breach of the decade, the largest ever. And the stolen Ethereum was already moving. Blockchain analytics firms Arkham Intelligence and Elliptic immediately began tracing the stolen funds. What they found was chilling. The attack bore the hallmarks of Lazarus Group, the North Korean threat unit. The United States Federal Bureau of Investigation confirmed the attribution, blaming actors they designated as traitor-triterator. This was not a criminal investigation. It was a national security matter. A foreign government had stolen $1.5 billion from a private company. The implications were staggering. The next 72 hours were existential. If Bybit could not replenish its reserves, the exchange would face a liquidity crisis. Customers would panic. Withdrawals would cascade. Another crypto giant would fall. Benjal moved fast. Bybit secured 447,000 Ethereum tokens through emergency funding. The liquidity came from firms including Galaxy Digital, and Wintermute. The reserves were replenished in 72 hours. And if you have made it this far, you already understand something most analysts completely missed. Bybit survived. That fact alone distinguishes this from every other exchange collapse. FTX failed because it could not fill an $8 billion hole. Bybit filled its hole in 3 days. The exchange continued operating. Customer withdrawals remained open. No customer funds were lost. But the hack itself remains unresolved. The $1.5 billion has not been recovered. North Korea has the money, and the precedent is set. The Bybit hack permanently changed how the crypto industry thinks about security. The vulnerability was not a broken lock. It was a trusted third party. Safe Wallet was the infrastructure Bybit relied on, and that infrastructure was compromised. Every exchange in the world uses third-party providers. Every exchange now has to ask whether its suppliers are as secure as its own systems. The supply chain is the new attack surface, and North Korea proved it works. Remember that decision we mentioned at the start? Here is what it actually cost. Bybit's decision to use a centralized custody model meant holding enormous reserves in cold wallets, managed through third-party infrastructure. That model enabled scale, liquidity, and speed. It also created a single point of failure that a nation-state could exploit. The decision to trust Safe Wallet with the signing infrastructure was not negligent. It was industry standard. That is what makes it terrifying. $1.5 billion stolen. 400,000 Ethereum drained in a single breach. 72 hours to replenish reserves. 447,000 Ethereum raised through emergency funding. 0 customer funds lost. 1 nation-state responsible. 1 third-party provider compromised. The largest cryptocurrency theft in history. Bybit survived. North Korea kept the money, and the entire industry learned that your security is only as strong as your weakest supplier. The lesson is not that crypto is unsafe. It is that trust is a vulnerability. Every company depends on suppliers, vendors, and partners. Bybit did everything right internally. Its cold wallets were multi-signature. Its reserves were deep. Its response was fast. But a third party it trusted was compromised, and that was enough. If you are evaluating any company's security, stop asking how strong their walls are. Start asking who built them. If you want to understand how this pattern repeats across every major business collapse, the next video covers a story with disturbing parallels. That one is next.
That's the story for today on MogulCast. If you found this valuable, subscribe and hit the bell. A new Empire story drops every single weekday. See you tomorrow.